How's it going? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm gonna try to do some talking and stuff this video. Gotta admit, it's been recently been kind of hard to act natural and really be comfortable and be myself in my videos. And to be, really loose and creative. Because I think, prime peak creativity comes about if there is no expectation and no pressure of any kind of result. So ideally, that sounds really nice. Ideally this would be only a hobby with no money, no income involved. From an artistic, creative standpoint, the fact that this is what I live off of at the moment kind of screws everything up, I hope the videos are still pretty good, but the pressure makes it tough. But that's about to change, because I'm trying to get a normal job. I was trying to get a job as a direct support person, which is just a person that takes care of people with disabilities, severe disabilities, so that they need assistance to. Sorry about that. They need assistance to live, and I'd really like to do that. I would really, really like to do that. That's the only line of work, really, that I could even give half of a shit about, Sorry about the background noise. I don't talk about it much because it was kind of a horrible experience. But I do have experience in this line of work. I worked in a residential facility for behaviorally challenged disabled boys, and I worked there for like a pretty long time, like over a year, and fucking nightmare, absolute fucking nightmare. And you would think it's because of the the behaviorally challenged disabled boys, right? That's what you would think, right? It was actually the management and co-workers that made it the nightmare. And is not what you would expect at all. And I don't talk about it much on this channel, even though it is a pretty life-changing experience working there. And I have the ugliest, most disgusting stories I could tell about it. But I won't. But it is something I'm passionate about, and something I want to get back into. But I'm having trouble getting hired. I don't really know why. I'm having trouble getting hired. I went to an interview. I had an interview recently. It seemed to go well enough. Like, seemed fine. You know. Told them, like, I have experience, you know, like, I'm passionate, I care, you know. Interview seemed to go well enough. It even got to the point where they like introduced me to the place I'd be working at. They introduced me to the clients, got to shake all their hands, meet them, you know. But they changed their minds about hiring me because they thought I was too easygoing and that the clients would be too aggressive with me and overpower me and be overbearing, like they thought they were too much for me to handle, which sucks for me. I feel like I can be tough if I need to. Like, I have plenty of experience. Like the boys I worked with, I already learned the hard way. Like, if you're too nice and you give too much, and you're their friend too much, then it doesn't work out, because they can walk all over you. And if it comes to a point where you need to redirect them or discipline them or whatever, then, you know, there's this moment like, man, I thought we were friends. I thought we were bros. You know, why are you being mean to me now? Like, you know. So I learned that the hard way, which sucks. Sucks that you can't be too nice, right? That was when I first worked at that place I used to work at. That was my biggest mistake. It was way too nice. I wanted to be like, I don't know, I guess like an older brother to them. You know, does not work. We do not live in a fairy tale world. That does not work. Not at all. Unfortunately, to an extent, in a workplace like that, you do have to be kind of cold to an extent. Unfortunately. It's very unfortunate. kind of sad, man, that they don't want to hire me. And it's not only for the money, because I mean I make like enough money doing this, but you know, it's partly for my soul, right? Partly for, you know, for some extra money, of course. And partly I want to do it to take some of the stress of doing this off of me, so I can have an extra source of income, right? Because the way things are now, it's like, shit, I gotta make good videos or else no money. And I won't be able to pay rent and all that. And that's no fun. And it's sure as hell not good for creativity. So yeah, having an extra source of income would take some of that stress off for me, so I could be more freely creative and not worry, which would benefit all of you guys who like to watch me too. You know, content would probably be better. I don't know if you know this, but I think that's part of why my channel became successful, because when I first started making videos, I did not give a shit. I did not give a shit at all about, I had no expectation of success. I literally just did it because I was like bored. I did it just to do it. And at that point of my life, when I first started making these videos, I had pretty much given up. Like, I was really not in a good place. So like, I did not care if I was gonna get bombarded with hate and rejection. And honestly, I was expecting it, and it was welcome, you know? Like, I didn't care. And I guess by coincidence, that is a formula for raw, authentic art, right? So, let that be advice for any aspiring artist, no matter the art form or whatever. You gotta do it just to do it. You gotta do it for you. You gotta do it because it's fun. You gotta do it because, just because. If you do it to please anybody, if you do it for success, I mean, it might be good, but it'll probably, at best, be a successful attempt to do what has already been done, or to fit a mold, if that makes sense. Anyways, if you have something to say, you gotta say it only because you have something to say. And that's how you say some some pretty cool stuff, you know. I think. For what it's worth. I'm moving out of this apartment very soon. All this stuff behind me, this is one of the last times that it'll be in one of my videos. Gonna move back with my mom for a bit, and I was thinking I might just save up for a house. You know, I've been renting this place. Wasted $24,000 renting my time here. Since I was here for like a year, right? That was $2,000 a month. You know, times 12. It's like 24,000. And that's like a third of a down payment on a house. So kind of a waste of money, I guess. Although I got to live alone. Yeah, but I'm weirdly kind of looking forward to living with my mom and my uncle for a bit. That's who I'll be living with, my mom and my uncle, and while I've been living in this apartment, I got pretty good at cooking. Like, I can cook a pretty mean stew now, which is a new skill, so kind of looking forward to cooking for my mom and my uncle, you know. Kind of looking forward to contributing to the house, because when I was younger, I was kind of like a freeloader. Like, I wouldn't really do anything around the house, like, which is embarrassing, but my parents would pretty much do everything. And you know, when they'd ask me to do chores and stuff, I'd be like a little lazy butthole about it, you know. But I'm a lot more like mature now, actually. I want to help. it's worth. I just want you to know that there is nothing is expected of you, you know. Nothing at all is expected of you. And everything is perfectly okay. And comparing yourself to others is frankly insane. And all the people that, you know, from the outside it may seem like their lives are so much better than yours, I can promise you, if you were actually them, you would not be any happier. Because no matter how much you achieve and obtain in this material world, it will never be enough. No achievement, no relationship with person or career, material, nothing in this world, nothing will make you happy. Okay? And that may sound dark, but I promise you that happiness is, I swear on everything, that happiness and peace is within you. Okay? So what I said earlier is actually not dark at all, you know. Like it or not, your soul is saved already. You know, there is nothing to strive for. Nothing at all. You already have anything and everything you could ever possibly want. No amount of money, no amount of fame, no amount of anything will ever be enough. Because what you have is already enough. And for a lot of you, that may be hard to believe, or may even induce anger, because it might sound like a load of horseshit, like, or a joke, maybe even a sick or cruel or just plain unfunny joke, which is how I used to think when people would say stuff like that. But I really swear it's true, you know. If you'll take me at my word, I'm not sure if you will. Relax, 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 relax. Relax. Everything is, oh, 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 oh. There was like a whole bunch of other stuff I wanted to talk about. That 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 I wanted to talk about. Talk about. Kind of blanking now. lovely apartment complex that I've been living at. They screwed me, man. They scammed me. It's like technically not a scam, but like they scammed me in a legal and acceptable way. Because I had a lease that ends November 14th. I forget what the date is today. And then I told them to give them some notice, like a couple weeks ago. I said, hey, I'm going to be out by November 14th. I'm not renewing my lease, just so you know. And they were like, actually, you're supposed to file this official 2-month notice form we have here. So you are responsible for 2 more months of pay. And also, it's at a much higher price than what you were paying before. So, yeah, fuck you, Patrick. Get trolled. So yeah, my rent was $2,000, and now I'm legally required to pay like almost $3,000 for 2 more months. And they're gonna butt fuck me with like late fees and some other bullshit. So I'm probably gonna be like legally required to pay like $10,000, and I'm totally not gonna pay it. Totally not. I'm gonna just get harassed by debt collectors, which is totally preferable. And man, what a dick move. What a dick move on these guys' part. It is so upsetting, and luckily I have like a safety net, and like I'm not in like a financially horrible place, but I cannot imagine being like like a single mom in a tough situation and having this big company just absolutely butt fuck me like that. Like, for certain people, this could have been like a, maybe not literally life ruining, but a catastrophic event. And this big company, they can just look you in the eyes and be like, hey, it said so on the paper, you didn't read between the lines, you know. So, you know, legally you're in the wrong, buddy. Yeah. It makes me quite angry. Quite angry. But I guess that's the world we live in. this thing. I got this thing at a farmer's market. A 3D printed thingamajig. Got it at a farmer's market. Dude, this farmer's market I went to felt like a felt like a fantasy land. Felt like a amusement park. I don't know what it was about this farmer's market, but it did not feel like I was on planet Earth. For real. Might have to turn the gain down a bit. It's like pretty loud. But like, I don't know, every store in that farmer's market felt like a store in like a MMO game, like World of Warcraft or something. And I felt like all the cashiers should have been like mystical gnomes or elves. Like every store almost was like a collection of like random trinkets and gizmos and doodahs and thingamajigs, and everything was like old. There was like an electronics store with like old TVs and like equipment from like 1980s, and there was like a video game store, and they were selling like GameCubes and Nintendo SNESs and like all this old stuff, man. Like I did not feel real. It did not feel real. It was like one of the most magical experiences I've had is a freaking farmer's market, dude. But yeah, so this thing I got at said farmer's market. Yeah, I don't know if this is any good or not, but I'm gonna mess with it for a bit. was a good practice session. I feel like I learned a lot about this object here through that practice session. I just learned how to play it, just like learning how to play like a musical instrument, you know. I now feel as if I've obtained a slight bit of proficiency with this thing, whatever it's called. Really hope you enjoyed that. The whole video. I'm probably gonna call it now. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. Take it easy. I love you. I'll see you later. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good night.